Hello, everyone. Welcome to Psychic.biz Live. I am here with Aeson Knight. I think we've become each other's sidekicks, don't you think?
Oh, I agree.
Absolutely. I am an emotional healer. I am an intuitive. I use a tarot. I'm a medium. I'm a channeler. I don't. It's funny. When someone asked me what did I do, the list was so long. I couldn't come up with a single term, so I call myself an emotional healer. I can see where you're going. I see what got you, what happened in your past, which got you to this moment. I can see where you're at, and if you want to shift your life to a good life, I'm your girl. On today's show, we're going to kind of tag around with a bunch of topics. And we're going to talk a little bit about about using affirmations. I think that's a fun thing to do. We're going to talk about using affirmations to enhance your life. Aeson, how about you, babes?
Oh, darling, I completely understand. I like calling you the Oracle because you just remind me of the Matrix so much. But I'm Aeson Knight. I'm Master Psychic, Tarot card reader, tarot teacher, clairvoyant, clairaudient. Oh, the list gets longer and longer as the years go on too. You brought up something interesting in your show, and it really shocked me. Was that it had
What?
been 20 years since John Bonet?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you know that was one of the first cases I worked on as a professional psychic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. What
yeah.
happened?
I met her. One of her family members contacted me and asked me to do a reading on this situation.
Mhm.
And of course, by then, things had already gone awry. But I was like, it's been 20 years. Dang, I'm gonna have to update my profile. Um, but that's just how light flies by sometimes, honey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. That case was quite fascinating because for me, it went 20 years. Yeah, that's when I just started this journey. It went into the whole past life thing where, I could see her as I said in my show, I could see her as Marilyn Monroe just finishing up those last few years of her life,
Right.
which she never got to finish because, she had that unfortunate death. And of course, in this lifetime, so who did you think did it?
I'm gonna say it. I think it was the brother.
Yeah, you're right. And and it's quite interesting because brothers can, especially when their sisters look so not their sister, they can have a very unfortunate attraction to the sister,
Hmm.
and the anger about her being the special one. That's what would occur. Yeah.
Right. And you bring up another case, Marilyn Monroe, that a lot of psychics have worked before and will
Mhm.
continue to work. And I think we don't know everything that happened with that case.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever know.
Yeah, I didn't pay enough attention. All I can see around her are Secret Servicemen. And if that's the case, then they are one of them took her life for someone else.
That's a possibility. Either that or, she knew too much, because back then, if you knew too much, you got executed.
That's right.
Government was a little bit more protective than what it is now of
Yeah, yeah,
themselves.
yeah, yeah.
But tonight we're talking about empowerment and finding ways to change your view of things. I think one of
Yes.
the biggest and most deadliest things we have in this world is worry and stressing about things. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, I know what I used worry to do to myself. It caused me to not pay attention. It caused me to I'm going along, doing my life, living my life, and I'm so much in the middle of worry that I could actually run into a wall, those sorts of things. So, yeah, it is, well, guilt, worry and guilt. Guilt is the biggest, to me, addiction on the human in human life, and worry is like it is that great energy that keeps us. It's like the cement shoes. I'm trying to think of an analogy. It literally is like the cement shoes or the iron shoes that hold our spirit down from flying, really.
Right. And, I think, and I look back and I don't think the generations before us worried and stressed as much as we do. They just kind of like lived life, and it was like, yeah, oh, the crops ain't doing good this year. That ain't no problem. We'll do better next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Something, they had an expectation. Maybe their trust in a higher power was greater than ours. You know what I mean?
So.
And we are now, we're now in a place where so much is expected of us. So much is also expected of our children, that we have to be the top notch, top dog, big poobah, doing all the stuff. And when we don't get there, there's always only one winner. There can only be one. So, you run for the finish line, and they will check all the way down to the nanosecond to make sure that one wins. They only have one crown. So why is everybody trying to get that one crown? Why can't we cross the finish line together and create multiple crowns? And I think because of this one person being the winner idea, the one champion, people worry a lot about not getting there. Maybe if I came second, I will miss out. Or, if I'm 25, I'm going to miss out on having children because I'm not married yet. You know what I mean? I think there's a big competition thing, right?
Well, I think not only it's a big competition, but I think people have just gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, you brought up a really good point about having children. My God, if everybody that wanted to be parents would turn around and get over this 1730s idea of who fathered the child, there wouldn't be an orphanage one, there wouldn't be a foster child one. It'd be right there up front and in person. Yeah. I think, it would be even better, and I think it would be better for you to take a child and raise them and do the work than to not have a child and feel that you're less worthy because you didn't have a child. No, you were probably scheduled to adopt or for a child to be sent into a different way. I think that a lot of times people will stress over the stupidest things.
Yes.
God, what size the diamond ring is going to be? I'd wear them more if he bought a house for you than a diamond ring.
That's right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So I think that our human condition has gotten a little bit more cuckoo. And I think in the past, everything wasn't microwavable.
Mm-hmm.
Add water, stir, and microwave. The relationships actually took work because you had to write letters, and you had to have your parents go negotiate with his parents on how much land they were going to give for you. And people don't realize that. People make statements today of, is he going to fight for me? Who's he going to fight? There ain't no dragons around anymore.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I do feel that we have to change our way of thinking. We have to change our expectations. That'll definitely do away with all this worry. The funny thing is that the expectations that each person has nothing to do with that individual. It has to do with the imprint or the expectations of others that they've picked up. It's like walking along and you see a rock, you pick up the rock. Okay, I'm going to carry this rock, and they carry it pretty much just because. And then they feel tired, put the rock down. Well, I can't. Well, guess what? You can. It's your life, your choice.
And I think people have forgotten that.
Yeah.
They think everything is necessary. It's necessary to have the best, the brightest, and the most, because that's the only way you prove that you're worthy. No, it's not. I think we got stuck up with the idea of, we've lost the real true meaning of self-worth. It doesn't mean what's on your balance sheet. It means you value yourself. And I think that's the first step to empowering your life, is learning your own self-value. And when someone's not giving it to you, going, well, I'm you know, my billable rate's $120 an hour, and you're only offering 5. I'm out of here.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You know.
So the first thing you've got to establish is your own self-worth. Your own, you know, put a value on you before you put a value on anything else in your life.
Yeah.
You know, recently I was talking with somebody, and we were discussing some of the things I used to do and some things that, and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't have time for that anymore because it isn't my value. My value is too high to do that. You know, I'm too busy to go and, you know, take off and do that because it's not my, you know, it's below my value.
Yeah. 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 You know, it's, I was going to get into something.
Yeah.
I forgot. I just whiffed right out of my head here. Yeah, talking about value, it's fascinating how, and I puts me to think about myself that, you know, every time I devalue myself, for example, if I have my price on my website and I reduce the price, I bring in all these people who are going to want to pay me less. And I remember in Paulo Coelho's book, The Alchemist, I think, he's a Portuguese writer, and everybody will know The Alchemist because they probably read it in school and such. But when the alchemist got to this chapel, he decided to make gold. He knew how to do it. So he went into the monastery and he asked the guy for a pot. And he took all the base metals, put it in there and stirred his pot and mumbled and he made gold. So he cut the gold into 4 pieces. He gave one to the young man who the story is for. He kept one for himself. He tucked one away and he gave the 4th piece to the priest. And the priest said, oh, no, the monk. And the monk says, oh, no, that's too much. And the alchemist turned to him and said, be careful what you say, because next time the universe will give you less. And that always has rung true for me when it comes to worth, because it's not the universe that values us. It's we who value ourselves. That's what we're here on the planet to do, I think.
Right. And I would agree. And, you know, that applies to everything, not only work, but also relationships. How often have you gone and devalued yourself and got into a relationship that just wasn't right for you? People, you know, go, oh, but I ain't dated someone in 5 years. And?
I love that look on your face.
You know, it's like, and, you know, he's a yutz. He won't work, and you know that he's an abuser. Why do you want to date this idiot?
Yeah, it's not funny. Just so that you have someone in your life. It's such a strange thing.
It's better to get a poodle.
Yeah, well, you have to walk it, and please pick up after your poodle.
Yeah, but you know, you get undivided attention, undivided love. They never leave you. They're not going to cheat on you, and they're warm in the winter, and you know they stay off of you in the summer if you're lucky.
Well, do a cat. The cat will definitely stay off you in the summer.
Yeah, or a cat. Both of them. You know, and I think if people done that, you know, they got an animal to take care of before they got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, we'd have a lot less divorces.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, because it takes as much work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So to build one's sense of self, knowing who you are. Remember the caterpillar on the mushroom in Alice in Wonderland? Sitting down, and she goes up to him and he says, who are you? And she says, I am Alice. And he says, no, that's not it. Who are you? She had to figure out who she is beyond her name. Do you know what I mean? So that she could and towards the end, she actually told him who she was. I am this, I am that, I am these types, these things. These are the things that make up who I am. And when I do I have a healer workshop, which I call it the healer workshop for want of a better word, because you are your own healer. And in it, I ask that question of people, who are you? And some people write down a shopping list, because I give them a piece of paper. Some people write down an essay. Others write down every single negative thing. And some are too embarrassed to put down the positive. It's so interesting. It's an actual interesting exercise for people to do, to give them an opportunity to see, truly see how they see themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very
because
much so.
it's very clear to them.
Well, not only that, but it shows what they're saying in their mind.
Yes.
Here's an example. If you're, sitting there going, "Oh, I'm poor. I ain't got money. I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't have money to do this. I don't have money to do that. I don't want, I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broke." The universe is hearing, "Oh, I want to be broke. Let me be broke. Can I be broke? Let me be broke."
Yeah.
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 Or, when you come, I don't know how many people I've seen come out of long-term marriages and they're just heartbroken. And within 2 years, they have a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, isn't that they say they die of a broken heart?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
A health, it's a definition now.
Yeah, science has finally figured out that there is a health condition called a broken heart. Yeah, because you've actually overstimulated and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
But what I find, and the way you have to do is you have to start reprogramming yourself so that when you say that, "Oh, I'm broke," it's like, "Oh, money's on its way," or "Money's in my hand," or I just don't want that today. I don't know how many people say, "Oh, I can't do that, I'm broke," when you really just want to go, "I don't want to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go see that movie. I have no interest in seeing, whatever the current flick is, or I'm too busy."
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that funny? So you make the statement, "I'm too broke," even though that's not the state, just so you don't go to the movie, and then you create "I'm too broke" next week.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
By proxy.
And by by initially putting that energy out there. So I think you have to watch what you see in the mirror, because what we see in the mirror is very much different than what we put out to people.
That's true. That's so true, actually. And Kostas Kyriakis from it's in a book that I read about a Greek wise man who was around in the 70s. He says our thoughts take a life of their own when they leave your body. When they leave your mind, they actually still exist. They become physical things. And they go out searching for that thing that you just thought up. So if you say, "I'm poor," they literally go and the thoughts go out, touch on whatever it is, and it brings it back to you. Mm-hmm. So you say, "I'm poor," it goes out, finds poverty, and brings it back to you. Mm-hmm. Isn't that something? And when it comes back stronger, because it glances off of it like an arrow glancing off metal or a rock or a bullet ricocheting, and it comes back at you stronger, because the force from the gun or the bow is so much, but when it hits whatever, that force hitting that still object will cause it to come back, right?
Right.
Or a bullet that goes into your body and hits a bone and then shatters and ricochets through your whole system. That's literally what our thoughts are doing to us.
Very much so. And so that's why we've got to correct our thoughts. Otherwise, people go, "What do you mean correct my thoughts?" Yes, you got to think about what you're thinking. You got to change your mind sight. You got to shift your mind to reflect the life that you want. Granted, you may not be wearing Louis Vuitton shoes and Paris Hilton's handbags now, but take time to flip over there and see it. What is that older blonde lady on Shark Tank?
Shark Tank?
Yeah, Shark Tank. It's an investor show. Barbara, when she was starting out her real estate company, she really had nothing, but she took all the money she had and went and bought this bright, expensive red jacket, and it became her symbol.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and she wore it everywhere to do everything, every closing, every promo shoot. She had this huge red jacket on. Now she's known for that red jacket.
Yeah.
Another example, and I love her biography, is Dolly Parton.
Yes, love her.
Yeah, I think, you know, she has used empowering her life and taking a full view of who she is. And, you know, let's look at it. She's in show business, and most people think she's a trollop, but she's actually probably the best businesswoman in show business at the moment. She has been married 50 years to a man that has had 2 pictures in her whole career taken of him. That's it. There is no more out on the market. She keeps that lifestyle separate. And she, you know, is very much in love. You can tell she's in love with her husband when she talks about him. But, you know, she's on the road most of the time. And, you know, that makes a good relationship. And people nowadays don't get that, you know, a lot of people are bi-coastal. Or, you know, their husband is one place and their home base, and they are another off doing things.
Yeah.
And they think that it doesn't fit in a box. But, you know, in 5 years, you know, I'm going to be at your house in like 4 minutes. You know, snap my fingers and I'm there. That'll be awesome. You know, so I think that we've got to adapt our thinking of ourselves to today's time and understand that, you know, things aren't storybooks. The worst book ever written, I think, is Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella. What happened with her? She's the one who cleaned for the stepmothers.
Yes, cleaned and slaved for the stepmothers. Godmother comes down, changes her rags into a big ball gown, gives her glass slippers. She goes off to the ball, loses her slipper, and comes back and, you know, becomes Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no Prince Charming running around with a shoe.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't care for fantasy stuff. You know, fairy tales and stuff. I like Aesop's fables, but all the Disney stuff,
yeah,
you know, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, but, you know, everyone reads that to their daughter, and, you know, oh, don't you want to be Cinderella? Don't you? No, I don't want to sit here and clean house all day and wait for some man to bring a shoe.
And then have, you know, because the thing about the shoe story is that one sister cut off her heel and put her bloody heel in the shoe. And I remember wanting to know, well, did they clean the shoe? I mean, and how did they clean the shoe? It must be stained with blood, right? So that was a pretty magical shoe. So she gets a secondhand shoe that's all stained up with someone else trying to get into it. And maybe that's how relationships are these days.
Well, in a way they are, you know, because a lot of people get brought into them, damaged, bandaged, and abused, and then are expected to perform like they're normal. And, you know, normal isn't normal anymore.
That's right.
You know, that's normal relationships, the 1 + 1, you know, we date, we go on date after date, we kiss on the 3rd date, you know, date after date after date, and then we get engaged, and 6 months later we're married, and we have 2.5 kids and a little dog, and he buys me a house. That ain't life anymore.
He buys you a house, and then he's hanging out with his secretary, and you're probably hanging out with the pool guy. Because pool guy's cute now, and my husband is the other side of the world. And before you know it, there's a nasty breakup, and nobody actually ever talked to anyone about what they felt. And that's what I encounter when I talk to people in relationships that are dealing with challenges. They're wanting to throw away what they already have, and they never actually took the time to look at each other, you know, to look each other in the eyes and to talk and to say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? Instead, I think maybe it's people's guilt that's causing them to go through their recriminations against each other and such.
Right. And I think that a lot of times people will settle They won't be in
Mhm.
love with the person
That's
because, you know,
right.
you got to be in love with the person in marriage. Can we agree that marriage was a business agreement?
Yes. It's a business agreement to bring children onto the planet.
Yep.
That's what nature uses.
Yep.
You know, and I remember on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, that show was really impactful for me because um, the head of the Deep Space Nine, I forgot what his name is, but he was brought there to be the emissary for this group of people that lived on the other side of the wormhole. And he couldn't understand why am I here? And he went into the wormhole and he spoke to these beings. And the being said, his name is Cisco. The being said, he says, why me? They said, there is no other. He said, but because their concept is you are what you are. You can't, there's no explanation. It's like saying God is, but you can't add a word to it, or love is, but you can't add words to it. And he says, you know, but why me? Why did you choose me? Why am I the one? He didn't know his history. And they said, there can only be the one Cisco. And basically, they're knowing the DNA information that they wanted. One of them went to his father, who was way across the universe, went to his father, mated with the dad, in love, 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 so much in love. He was just smitten to pieces. She brought forth this Cisco baby, named him Cisco, and when he was like 3 days old or something, or someone is going to tell me it's the wrong time, but it doesn't matter. When he was still a baby, she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically, that's what they did. They wanted this child, so they found the right DNA information to bring that child forth. And that's what happens in our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm prime example of how the universe picks you up and lags you here and drags you there and takes you there and whatever. And all I do is, as I go along my path, I just watch to see what they're up to. What's coming around the corner? I can't quite see, but I'm still taking that path. I will not run away from it, because where am I going to go?
Yeah. You know, just go right back onto the path. You know, that's something else. People get all this, oh, I'm off the path. Oh, I must be off my path because things aren't easy. No, you're just going up a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're walking through a desert. You know, you're still on your path. People that are off their path don't give a care.
Yeah. 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 It's very interesting. Yeah. So what else are we going to do to build self-esteem?
I think we should start, people should use the words I am, and then fill in the blanks with as many things as they are. I am a master psychic. I am an emotional healer. I am this. I am that. Start taking some ownership. People don't take ownership of anything anymore.
That's true. That's so true.
You know, they always go, well, that's my boyfriend, not I am his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I am the employee of this, or I am the employee of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I am a psychologist. I am a this. I am a that. Yeah. And of course, the crown chakra is the I am presence, right? The God force that exists within us. It's in the crown, in the head, it's in the mind, it's in the thought. The thought says, I am. It's an ownership.
Right.
Because nobody can dispute that I am.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. When you say it, what are they going to do? Tell you you're not? They're going to have to go prove that you're not first.
Well, most of the time, they're going to figure out what you said you are. But you need to be telling that to yourself. You need to have confidence and have ownership over, this is me. This is my business. This is who I am. And if people don't like it, well, bye-bye, buddy. You know, off my path, off my planet. And that's always been my motto. And people get a little weirded out by that when I say, well, you know what? If you don't like it, off my path, off my planet, because it's my reality. And that's something people have to realize, is they create their own reality, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. And you know, it's well, I'm If I stop talking to you, that's it. You're up the creek without the paddle, and I'm not throwing you one. So I'm like one of those, I'm the rattlesnake. I let you know that I'm here. I let you know. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. And I learned this from a psychologist. I was going through, I was 26 or 27 or so, and I was going through a divorce. And I was talking like Michael Jackson and Little Miss talking like this, right? So I was talking, I had a high voice. I was talking soft little voice. So, and I went to this psychologist, and I tell you, that man is brilliant. So, I'm wondering why is my husband behaving the way he is, and so on. And of course, he's telling me that he wanted the house to be spotless every time when he came home from work. And at the same time, I was running a design business. I was the one taking care of the kids, making sure supper is done, making sure the house is clean and all this stuff. But I never thought of myself as doing all of this self-sacrificing stuff. So the man said, get up and stand over there. So I got up, of course, me obeying, got up and stood in the middle of the room. And I'm 5'0". This 6'6" tall man walked up to me and stood with his toes on my feet. And I'm standing there wondering, why is he standing on my feet? I'm in my head questioning, what? I'm trying to move my feet. And the more I tried to move my feet, he pressed harder. And he looked down at me and he said, well? And I said, well, what? Now, it still didn't click in, right? He said, aren't you going to tell me to get off your feet? Oh, my goodness. It's like, oh, my goodness. You mean I can actually tell people to bugger off? I could tell people to go away? You mean I actually can do that? That was a breakthrough moment for me.
Oh, very much so. It's very much a breakthrough moment. Mine came when I read Wendy Williams' Got the Heat. And it was Ask Wendy. And she has a section in there about friends and drama. And she says, you can fire your friends. And I thought, I need to issue some pink slips.
Yes.
Because people, you outgrow them.
We do.
A lot of times.
Yeah, we do. And that's what most people are not aware of, is that, and I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people are afraid of change, because instinctively they know that if I change, if I grow, I'm going to have to walk away from these people, and what will they do without me? It's not so much I need them. They're so busy looking after the person. What will that person do without me? Right. Which is interesting. So we're looking after them, right?
Yeah, we're caretaking them, but we're not here to be caretakers. Poodles are here to be caretakers. Rabbits are here to be caretakers. We're here to experience our own path. And if you're not allowing yourself to grow, it's like being a plant in a pot too small.
That's
You're going to stifle yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you become a bonsai tree. That tree will not grow any taller than that, but you put it in a bigger pot and that tree is going to get as tall as it can possibly get.
Exactly. And then it's no longer a bonsai.
That's true.
Oh, so next week, we'll do this show, and then I will have the coffee shop, and then I'm off. Guys, I'm taking off to Canada, and I'm going to meet up with Miss Sonia. Hoping to do a little video with her in person. And then we're headed off to where, Miss Sonia?
We're heading off to Ottawa, to the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo in Ottawa. And it's going to be a really amazing experience because I recognize a lot of the people, a lot of the vendors who are at the show. So I'm looking forward to seeing a jam-packed, jumping, spiritual experience. The guys at the Body, Soul, Spirit Expo, when they show up, they do a meditation, they draw energy in, they build a beautiful energy around the space to maintain that pleasant feel. And so that's the one thing I always love about them in the 20 years they've been doing shows, and it always feels wonderful. So yeah, we will be at the Body Soul Spirit Expo in booths 127, 128.
Yes.
I mean. And we'll be doing readings, so come on over and get a reading done. Aeson and I will be there, and if you're, we're in Ottawa, so we're an hour and a half towards across from the border, so to the US. So come on over, get in your car, drive over, take a weekend away, and come up to Canada and check us out.
Right, and they'll also be doing lectures and classes. So if you're wanting to do work with some really good spiritual masters, this is the time to go do it. I think that's going to be fun. And you know, since I'm going to be in Canada, you know, you guys will probably not see me online as much, but that's okay. We'll still be putting out some stuff, and then you know, we'll be right back to the grandstand when we get back, because I think I'll land Monday or Tuesday, and then we hop right back into our shows. Conversations with Aeson will be on Thursdays now at 10 o'clock. I'm getting old, so I ain't staying up as late as I used to.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky it ain't at like 5. Really.
9 o'clock was too late for me.
Oh, I know, honey. Yours is at 6:30 right before we get here, and it's actually already out. So, you guys, if you missed it, go check it out.
Yes.
It's over at the Psychic Coffee Shop, and it was a good show because you were talking. What were you talking about, honey?
Kindness.
Kindness, yeah.
Kindness and what it means. What you're either being kind or you're being a pushover. What's the difference? So how to figure that out? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's important too, because I always tell people, you don't have welcome tattooed on your chest. Stop being a doormat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know, or they go, well, I'm doing this and this and this and this, and they don't like this, but I'm doing this and this and this for them. And I said, okay, now when are you going to get welcome tattooed on your chest?
You know, when you said that, I just had this image of the guy taking off his jacket to spread over the puddle so the girl can cross, and she's still gonna get her shoes wet, because what if the puddle is like 5 inches deep? And I always think, I've always thought, why don't she just take her shoes off and cross the puddle, go across, dry her feet off, and put it back in the shoes?
Well, what I never got is, why do that to begin with? Walk around the puddle. It's not like it's an ocean.
Thank you. But you know, it's funny because these are the expectations that we have on each other. Mm-hmm. And is it because we're afraid to carry those expectations for ourselves?
I think it's more so that we're afraid to change those expectations. You know, here lately we've seen a lot of body positivity, sex positivity, women positivity. Can we not just be positive about our lives and open and freeing and communicating? Because Lord knows we put everything out there.
Mm-hmm. What's positive? Woman positive? What's that? I don't think I've heard of it.
Women positivity. Okay, women positivity is everything positive about women. It's another marketing thing. Basically, you know, all the hair products she uses, how beautiful, you know, women are in all sizes. You know, it's another way of saying body positivity, but making it specifically for women and women empowerment. Which is cool.
Please.
You know,
I'm an ornamental cuss. I'm a sweet as pie, but I'm a rattlesnake at the same time. Don't mess with me. So I'm all of that. I don't know if that's positivity. I'm just perfect, because there's not a single tree out there that does not have a little rot in the trunk, a few broken leaves. There's not a bird out there that does not have a part of its wing that's got a little kink in it. There's nothing out there in nature that doesn't have a little something in it. It is what it is. It's a bird, it's a tree, you're a person. So this whole positivity stuff, oh boy, don't get me started on that.
Well, honey, it's another way of, let's chop it down and market it a different way. As you know, And this happened with soulmates back in the 80s. And my God, I don't know how many times we've chopped them up and repackaged them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we went into the 90s and the positive thinking. Sorry, you know, that's just how I look at it. You know, they're all fluffy, fluffy bunny types, and it's like, oh, yes, you can step on my feet. It's perfectly okay. It'll realign my toes. And, you know, so now we're into the 2000s and teens, so we've got to repackage it. So now they're breaking it up into different positivities. Instead of just being positive and being yourself and figuring out who yourself is. I wish we'd get back to that.
I wonder, I mean, we are shifting and we're trying to find a way maybe to accept the world as it is. Because life has not been always perfection and beauty and all this stuff. But we can't really focus and say life is what it is. We have to try and find this, what is it, look for the silver lining, or look for the, there's a term, I can't think what it is now, you know, but it's like, ta-da, look for the rainbow, ta-da, you know, yeah. And what's the purpose of that? Because life is about the ins and the outs and the positive and the negative and all. That's what life is all about. We are in a polarized world. We are in a world of opposite.
We're in a world now that doesn't make sense because, okay, let's take on beauty for an example. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, what I think is gorgeous, most people go, oh my goodness, that's awful. No, it's not. It's gorgeous to me. You know, and you probably ran into this as a designer because you got to tell us what was gorgeous.
Well, I designed for each individual's spirit, though, you see, which is kind of different.
Well, not really. I mean, I think that, you know, designers set a lot of tones on what is beautiful. But, you know, you go to Hawaii and these little stick figures in magazines ain't going to cut it.
Nope, not in Jamaica. I remember going there with my sister, who was, I don't know, at least pushing 200 pounds, I'm sure. And I'm me, you know, I was 98 pounds at the time. She's the one that got all the cat calls.
Because she was viewed as healthy and comfortable and good, and you was beautiful. And then if we take you and drop you in Japan, I'm sure you got more cat calls than she would.
I don't think the Japanese, I don't remember. Well, maybe I would have gotten if I'd paid attention. I was too busy causing trouble all over the place.
Yeah. Speaking of Jamaica, honey, you don't still have family down there, do you?
I do, yeah. I have a half sister and a half brother and a whack load of cousins, yeah.
Have they checked in?
Yeah, my sister yesterday talked to the sister in Jamaica. Yeah, they're all fine.
Okay, well, good.
See, I went through a hurricane when I was a child in Jamaica, where the roof came off and went flying over the house, you know, or the people's chamber pot, because you had to use a chamber pot at night because there's an outhouse, and the woman's chamber pot lifted up and followed the roof.
That's terrible.
Oh
goodness.
Kids giggled for weeks. That was a joke they never got rid of. That was good. So yeah, no, I lived in Jamaica when they had pretty bad hurricane pass. We survive it because that's just how it is.
Well, that's just part of the culture, you know. That's why, you know, in New Orleans, when hurricanes come through, they pour drinks and sit down and wait for it to come to pass.
Pass, exactly. Oh, I gotta go to New Orleans.
Oh yes, we gotta go.
Yum, yum, yum. I just want to go down there, just spread as far as my body will spread, listen to some amazing good music, eat some food. I don't have to get up, make myself a comfortable spot, just fall asleep, wake up the next day, eat. Oh, they might have to film me in New Orleans. Because that would be like the one.
Oh, well, you know, I'd love to go down there because there's so many places and so many people I need to go visit. I want to go and visit Miss Marie Laveau's grave. I want to go and visit Hex and Marie Laveau Voodoo Store. And there's a few Mambos down there that I need to sit down and have coffee with. So, yeah, let's go down there. Let's make it a work trip.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. It'll have to be after June next year because I've got these charges here at the moment. But yeah, no, I'd love, it's funny because everyone goes for Mardi Gras. But I think I'd like to go when it's a little bit quieter, when the spirits haven't run away, because I'd love to walk through the graveyard and talk to a few old guys.
Sounds good to me. I'd like to go down probably 2 weeks before Mardi Gras when everybody else is getting into town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so that's early February, right?
Yeah, early February.
January, yeah. That's a good time to go and just relax and
set up a card table on the corner and go.
Yeah, because I had a past life, well, probably several, but one I remember. There I was in this pretty little pink dress with all poofy out there all over the place, my cute little parasol, and I stole this woman's husband. Oh, I was Miss Diva Thing. So.
And? It's like when people come at me and they, oh, but he's got a girlfriend, or she's got a girlfriend. I'm like, and? Just because they have one, they haven't sold their title yet. Yeah. And even if they do, it happens. I mean, relationships are so different now. And,
that's right.
Views of relationships are different than what they originally were. Yeah. Things are just, and when we're developing ourselves, we need to develop our own empowerments of our own moral codes.
That's right.
And let everybody else's moral code just sit on the shelf where it belongs.
Yeah. Well, because energy is such a powerful thing and it travels in such an amazing way, when we think a certain thing, the people around us start thinking the same thing. Again, it's the same, this person's name crosses my mind or their face or something, and the phone rings 5 minutes later. So, I call it, I'd love to create that 100th monkey syndrome where, all these, one person starts a positive thought, and then 2 people do it, and then 6 and 10, and I'm not doing the math problem. 1 and then 2 and then 4 and then 8 and then 16 and so on. I'd love to do that because that's how the planet will change. That's how it will change.
Yeah, and it will, and it changes by doing the global things. Now we've got a little question here, and I'm going to kind of throw it at you, but you kind of covered it before I was able to even talk about it. And I love when you do that because I know that you're not watching. Pug Mom says she'd like to pick our brains again on this, on what we mentioned in the previous episode about physical upgrades coming into her. She's had a lot of third eye and crown chakra today, creepy crawly. So that means that it's starting to open up. My opinion is this is just part of your growth, honey. You're going to be growing, and there's going to be physical changes and things that no longer ache and no longer cram when you start using that energy. And your body will be able to change into the shape you want and the way you want, because you'll be out of that, oh, well, it's just my body. Oh, I just ache and moan, and, my knees just kill me every rainstorm. No, not if you get that energy flowing in them. What do you think about this, Miss Sonia?
Well, when it's like a child that goes through growing pains, its bones start aching. The children that are growing, and especially if they're growing really fast, their bones ache. And so Pug Mom, your spirit is just opening up like a beautiful flower. It's been cramped up, and you're going to feel that kind of achiness in the bones. You're going to feel it as you open up. And the crawly stuff is fantastic. It means that you are connected to the universe, my darling. Oh my goodness. I can be sitting there and all of a sudden I have this thing and it's either someone is crossing the ley line in my home, I'm aware of it, an angel has passed by, or I'm just projected into my future to see it. So just relax. When it happens, relax all the muscles in your body. Allow yourself to just to melt out, melt away, and watch what happens. It's gonna be amazing. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
And I feel like, those upgrades, as you call them, I call them spiritual developments, are going to happen. And you're going to have different desires. I remember when I took my Reiki Masters. Now, I was one of the smart ones. I took my Reiki 1 and I waited a year. I took my Reiki 2 and I waited a year. I took my Reiki 3 and I waited a year. I took my Reiki Masters then. And then I haven't been back. So I guess I've waited at least a year. But for the first month and a half, I couldn't stand the smell of meat at all. I don't know what it is about that energy form, but it was like, no, you just, no, forget it, fix me a salad. And then, but it was adapting to that energy. Now, I don't care what it is, except maybe full glasses of vinegar, I'll eat it. And, I'm doing a lot better dietitianally wise, but it's in learning to embrace, and your body makes those changes to that energy and that processing of the energy. And as we get upgrades, or we get light wave sensations, or we get on a different vibration, our body changes. Here's an example. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I'm supposed to be on a cane and all cripply, and I used to be there. I'm not there anymore. I'm not supposed to be lifting anything heavier than a coffee cup. My doctor would die if he saw me this weekend. When I was at Shaka Khan carrying tables and chairs and everything else around, he'd be like, you're going to be hurting. I haven't hurt yet. Granted, I was a little tired, but I'm doing much better. But it's allowing that vibration to let go of those shackles that we put on ourselves, or that we allow others to put on ourselves.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. As your vibration is raised, you feel your body more keenly. It's kind of like someone who has a death experience. They leave their bodies. They have this peace. There's just love. There's no pain. And then they're brought back into their bodies and they have to experience this severe pain. And it's like a shock to their system. So for those of us, or you basically, who are expanding and growing and evolving and ascending, because that's what it's called really, then your body is going to show you that you're ascending. The aches and pains, go for a little walk around the block, have ice cream or a glass of wine. I like the glass of wine personally, but just do something that makes you smile in the process.
And I think that's the most important, is laughter. A lot of people get lost in this idea of laughter. They lose the point. They get all serious about how life is and how life's got to be this way. And, it's got to fit in a straight line and it's got to go exactly diagonal. No, it doesn't. Just go have fun. Laugh. Laugh at yourself. When you go and laugh at yourself, you've really found true empowerment there. Well, Miss Sonia, your final thoughts, honey, before we leave out of here.
Well, today our show was about, empowering yourself. And the only person that can empower you is you. The only person. There's not a doctor, there's not a psychiatrist, psychologist, lawyer, lover. There's no one who can empower you but you. You're the one who has to see yourself, see your magic, see your divinity. And once that happens, it becomes like a beautiful glowing robe around you. And then everyone will start to reflect that back to you. So you're divine, baby. Go out there and show it to everyone.
And my final thought is, you're not on sale. Take the price tag off. You're not on sale. Go out and only accept what you're worth. Until next week, bye.
Bye.